Hey guys, I'm Janet on occasion, and today we're playing the Total War Warhammer II Battle Replay. This one is a community cast. It was sent in by Atticus, and he actually defeated the top guy on the ladder, which is pretty cool. So he's playing as the Dark Elves, and he's against K-Quan 39, that's it, who's playing as a Skaven. So this is interesting. They've decided to basically both try and ambush the other. But here, this build is pretty damn cool. So you see he's got a load of harpies. These guys would be great at bogging down things like warp lightning cannons, you know, any dangerous artillery that might pressure Malekith. So Malekith, obviously a bit of a big target. It's a bit scary bringing, you know, a flying lord against Skaven, because Howling Warp Gale and then artillery and maybe some gutter runners too. A ridiculous amount of night runners and gutter runners with poison here, which is very scary. Not something you want to be fighting really, but we'll see. We'll see. So here you can see Sisters Slaughter, the Sisters of Singing Doom, so all the sisters. And you see these guys are pretty cool. So they're witch elves, but they also cause terror, which is interesting. Because, you know, you catch a unit and you want to stay on it, but then it runs away because it's terrified, which seems a bit bizarre. But using it as like a frontline fighter, just terrifying the front line is amazing. It's really useful. And that anti-infantry bonus they have is great. And if you do catch out something vital, chances are they're going to stay in the fight a lot longer because, you know, they're better units. They have better leadership. So the terror is really just going to get rid of all the chaff surrounding the expensive stuff you're attacking. So it's pretty cool. So more witch elves as well, more Sisters of Slaughter. He's got some dread spears to sort of pad out the line. These guys would be great for just filling in any gaps, and also with their silver shields and the fact they cost almost nothing, they're going to be a great waste of ammunition. So pretty damn cool. So also there's a load of Dark Riders with shields in the back that can press the back line. Not really much of a back line back here though, but you know, that's fine. Also you can see K-Quan has brought a ton of rat ogres, so many. I'm assuming these were just to basically all charge into one target, so things like Hargath Executioners, just all charge into one, just demolish it and move on to the next. And you can just steamroll, you know, one after the next. It's a pretty typical strategy, sort of the monster mash tactic, because they're pretty quick, you know. So pretty scary stuff. Also, he's got some Skaven slaves, I guess, I don't know, just to throw towards handbows, maybe? So not a bad idea. He's also got Skrulk, because Skrulk's a competitive choice, let's be honest. And he's also got an Assassin as well, so we'll be able to do mad debuffs. Obviously, just the one time you can use that debuff. What's it called again? I've forgotten. Assassin, here we go. Is that the one? Rival Hide Talisman, that's the one. So minus 44 attack for everything around, you know, in an area. It's pretty huge. That is pretty massive. So very useful indeed. And he's also got trophy heads, you know, for using it on units or lords or heroes, which is going to be great for debuffing Malekith. So Malekith, must be said, he's got nothing but Soul Stealer in terms of spells, which is pretty interesting. So pretty cool. He's going to be going completely with getting his health back, which is pretty cool. But, you know, against blobbed up units, it can do a ton of damage too, so pretty useful. So the Harpies are all flying over, and then he realises he doesn't really have any targets. So you'll see he'll actually fly them back and start going after the gutter runners and the night runners. So pretty handy. Here though, one of the Dark Riders is getting a little bit caught out here. So that's not great for this this unit Dark Riders. But it did pull the you know, pull this guy apart a bit. You know, they're all running in different directions now. And here you can see the Liber Bubonicus on Malekith. Might as well use that straight away. There's no other good target for it, so you may as well start whittling his health down. You know, start putting the fear of the Great Horned Rat in him a bit, you know. So over here you can see the Harpies just going to be chasing down these guys. They're shooting a lot of ammo, is being wasted on these Harpies that basically don't have any other job apart from to get in the way of stuff, be a nuisance. So they're kind of doing, you know, what they want to be doing really, just getting shot, wasting some ammo, because they're not going to be useful for taking out any of this stuff. So, but it's chasing these guys away somewhat. So with these guys running away, it means that this stuff can get focused down by things like the Sisters of Slaughter that just have unbelievably good melee defense. So the melee attack of the Rat Ogres is what? It's 34 against the 60. They're not going to be hitting much at all. And the armor piercing just goes to waste against units like Sisters of Slaughter. So here you can see Malekith has dived down here to deal with Skrulk. He has had trophy heads placed on him, so that is going to debuff him a lot, but he's a big juicy target, and yeah, with Soul Stealer he can get his health back quite a bit. So Rod of Corruption trying to do some damage, but Skrulk is really caught out here, and frankly with all the anti-infantry and the anti-large here, there's not really anything in this blob that can do much damage. So it's pretty cool. So all this stuff is getting torn to shreds, while most of his army is just busy running away from Harpies. So the Harpies are doing their job, because it's not that they're doing great on their own, but they're just suppressing so much of the army that it means the main bulk is just getting wiped out with very little effort. So that's pretty damn cool. So Malekith's having a whale of a time in here, terrifying units away. I mean, they're coming back, but they're taking damage as they're running away. They'll, you know, charge back in, but they'll take more damage, and be terrified even quicker the next time. So yeah, you can see here, more stuff getting terrified. Big blob of stuff, so another big juicy Soul Stealer. I mean, there's a Lord, a Hero, and some like fairly small model targets, and that's all stuff that Soul Stealer is good at. So Malekith is going to be getting a lot of his health back, and he's doing a ton of damage. Here, really nice Gaze of Malice just to stop these guys from firing. Harpies over there, I think they'd fled and have just come back. So some stuff is starting to run off the edge, which is brilliant. That assassin is getting pretty messed up, honestly. He's not really fighting anyone at the moment, though. So you can see the Sisters of Slaughter are chasing down some more units. They're just going to keep chasing people off, which is great. There's some Plague Monks there, I think summoned. If you have a quick look, yeah, they're summoned. So they'll be degrading pretty quickly. So over here you can see these guys have got through quite a bit of their ammo, and they've missed most of the fight. Really, all of these gutter runners and things, they wanted to be getting damage onto the Witch Elves, onto the Sisters of Slaughter. That's what they're really good at killing. But he couldn't do that, so Skrulk's dead now. So that's going to be really bad for the leadership. So here you can see Malekith catching these guys. The Harpies, I think, will come back into action in a second. Here, those Sisters of Seeing Doom, they are taking quite a lot of damage from these guys, but if they can catch them, these guys will rampage, and they're not going to be throwing shurikens anymore. They're going to be in melee, where they will get torn apart. So hopefully you can catch them soon. If not, they've only got so much ammo, so, you know, we're almost out of it. So here you can see Sister Slaughter's continuing just to go one unit at a time, slowly chasing everything off. And there you go, those Rat Ogres decide to get shattered for almost no reason, so that's great. So the bulk of the army's gone now. Now it's just the unbelievable amount of Gutter Runners and Night Runners left. So here, another Gaze of Malice just, does some juicy damage here. You can see they've actually suffered a few casualties from just the constant Harpies and Dark Riders running into them. But they are so low on ammunition now. So this is actually pretty ideal. So here you can see, unfortunately, Sister Slaughter getting shot at by quite a lot of stuff. But, you know, they do have bronze shields at least, so it's not the worst. But, yeah, this isn't great for them. But if they can catch anything, it's gonna die. So, amazingly, just unbelievably, these Gutter Runners haven't actually rampaged yet, which is crazy. They have changed how that triggers. I'm not entirely sure what does it, but they need to land a few hits before it actually registers. And I think it has to be within a certain amount of time. Look at that, they rampaged and immediately were terrified, because these guys cause terror, which is pretty damn cool. So, right near the white line, they're going to go very quickly, so that's pretty cool. So, over here you can see Malekith is getting shot up a bit. But that's fine, these guys can waste some ammo on Malekith. You know, he's gone to the Soul Stealer, he doesn't even need to get in a fight unless he wants to. And he can flee, so he's in a pretty good position just to soak up some shots. So he is actually going to dive down on top of these guys. Got a load of units coming back, having chased people off the battlefield. And now these Sister Slaughter, they have been whittled down a little bit too much, I think. And amazingly, these guys are running straight through them. But yeah, it's not looking great for the Sister Slaughter here. They're just too surrounded. So another Gaze of Malice, pretty good amount of damage. And these guys getting chased off, it's not going to take too many hits. If you can get a good jump, maybe in a different direction, Malekith, come on. If you can get a good jumping attack through them, do a load of damage, these guys are going to start terrifying very quickly. So again, another unit's taken out, and they're going to get escorted off the battlefield. Harpies keeping these guys busy. They're now out of ammunition. And pretty much everything's out of ammo. There's only really 2 units with ammunition left now, so that's pretty cool. So, yeah, the Witch Elves are going to have a much better time of things. And the Dread Spears now are going to try and get in behind these guys. It looks like the Night Runners are charging in to try and prevent that. But they can hold out for a little while. They've got pretty good melee defense. And Witch Elves taking a little bit more damage, which is unfortunate. But you know, these guys are going to get caught out pretty soon. Malekith is coming back in, knowing that these are the only ones with ammunition, so he should be able to get in. These guys are going to be running back in. Yeah, it's just a matter of time before this stuff gets caught or is forced to run into melee. So, breath attack there, bit of a whiff, but, you know, if you've got a breath attack, you may as well try and use it. But they're going to be pretty dodgy, right? They're not going to stand still. They're gutter runners, you know? So, anyway. So these guys are all charging in. He's just got to keep retreating. He's trying to get as much use out of this ammunition as he can, but the Witch Elves are upon him now, and they've rampaged. So at that point, there's not really anything they can do. Yeah, now he just needs to engage with this stuff, because he's got no ammo left. There's no need to kite. He just needs to get into these, you know, get into some engagements. It would be better if he was a bit more, you know, together, get some surrounds on things, but Atticus is being aggressive here. He's coming in at loads of different angles, and he's attacking everywhere. So it's very difficult to try and get a surround on any of this stuff, especially when, if a unit gets tickled, it could rampage. So, at this point, that's army losses. So, pretty damn cool. So, divide and conquer, basically. I mean, yeah, K1 kind of did the dividing himself. He kind of divided his own army, and a lot of the time that would work out great. But Atticus just had a beautiful counter to this. He had so much stuff that he could just throw at the gutter runners. And the gutter runners, you know, they're alright in melee, but ideally you want to be using their ranged attacks, you know? So, he was using his ranged attacks here, when maybe he should have just collapsed on one unit at a time, just tried to destroy these guys and get to the fight as quickly as possible, because his rat ogres, Skrulk, all that stuff was getting just demolished, you know, in the absence of all this missile support. So it made it really difficult, and I think that was mainly down to Atticus's build. You know, he had stuff that was very vulnerable to the skirmishers, but then he had so many tools for scaring skirmishers away. And, you know, even in the front line, big melee defense, some anti-large for dealing with, you know, things like rat ogres. I mean, rat ogres, they don't really have any armor, so even cheap anti-large is going to get good value. So all that stuff fighting, it was beautiful. He just managed to get his units exactly where they needed to be, you know, fighting the opportune targets, which is pretty damn cool. So, very much enjoyed watching this. It was very cool. And I've never actually played Kayquan before. I didn't realise he was sort of this reliant on skirmishers, but it seems Atticus had an inkling, because this was the perfect counter to it. So, that was a lot of fun. So yeah, thanks for sending that in. And guys, if you enjoyed this, please do comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good day, guys.